Ah, it's working. All right, so we do need, I don't have, little piggy boy. So I need to check out, so we're not gonna do sculptures. I'm gonna talk about what the stream is gonna be about in a second here. But first, I need to figure out what my audio is like. Give me a second. I don't have my normal setup, so. Where am I from? I'm from Seattle. I'm from Minnesota, but 1 second. Let me pause this music. I just want to get a flavor of audio. Minnesota, but a little bit more. Let me pause this music. I just want to get a flavor of audio. Okay. Minnesota. All right, let's try this again. Take 2. I'm gonna just chat it out. Lil Jam. Lil Jam. All right, I think this is pretty okay. This is pretty okay. Let's try it out. Let's just take a little flavor. This is pretty okay. This is pretty okay. Let's try it out. The microphone can come closer. Yeah, that's good. That's good. All right, we're okay. Let's try it out. It's super weird to not be on my own stream. I gotta be honest with you. Super weird. Super strange. Like not having a dashboard. A little strange. I'm sorry, I'm doing a couple quick things here. So, what I'm gonna do, my stream, the thing that I want to do in general is, hey, what's up? What's up, Kyle? Ladsies, oh man, I don't really want to share this playlist. This isn't my flavor. If you watch my stream at all, like music is my pride and joy. But since this is gonna go on YouTube, I have to use rights free or royalty free. Sorry, royalty free music. Here's the link to that playlist that I just made. Royalty free. Not my ideal. So what I want to do actually on the stream is I want to spend some time talking about things that have absolutely the most to do with moving forward with a career in video games, and less about ZBrush specifically today. What's up, Pixel Desire? So I'm really interested in kind of sharing sort of the process and kind of talking about all the different jobs that you can do. So the format that I was gonna shoot for is that each stream we're gonna move through a different stage in my career, and ideally, you know, kind of give you a flavor of what it could look like for you. I'm also gonna try and kind of self-critique where I went and how I got there. And so today we're gonna talk about the job of getting a job, and I think it's really important to think about it that way. It's like really important to think about how much time you spend on something is relative to the reward you get, right? So people that are trying to get a job doing games, it's super important that you make it your job before it is. And that's everything from presentation to the amount of time you spend doing the job. And so we're gonna kind of dip into that a little bit. In general, in this streams, I've only got a 3-hour block. I want it to be as interactive as possible. So if I'm talking about things that are relevant to you and what you're doing right now, I'm super stoked to like just, you know, take a look at what you're doing and give you feedback on that. Let me close Steam. Let's do that. So yeah, so does that make sense? Kind of the idea of basically, I want to show you what it looks like to go through a career. I've been doing this for 17 years now, 16 years. And it's been a storied life, right? Like it's different each time. Pixel, are you confused? So much Monsters is confused. This boy doesn't know where he is right now. So this little dude here, I'm currently working for. I'm not working for anybody right now. I'm doing some consulting. I'm not actually sure if I can technically talk about it. I didn't actually clear it with the people that I'm consulting for. I most recently was lead character artist on Gigantic. I quit a couple months back and have been taking a little bit of a break in general. But just doing some consulting and kind of doing my own low-key work. What's up, Nick? Let me turn this up a little bit. I turned it down so much. Which industry is easier to get into as a 3D sculptor? They're really comparable at this point, ladsies. Games are technically a little more stable in so much as that you're usually salaried. In film, you tend to be on contract. It's like for the film. And so there's kind of a feast and famine. It's not really bad, but it's definitely a different model. What's up, Horace Heat? Alfred, what's up? Do I prefer games or film? I definitely prefer games. I mean, I'm a gamer. I love playing them and I love making them. My favorite thing by far is getting to the point where you take a character and you get it into the game. Also, this thumbnail really makes me happy right now. Just paying no mind to the rest of the subtools. Pretty awesome. So, like I said, what I want to talk about is this particular stream today. I want to talk about presentation and how to go about getting yourself ready to get a job. Got that booty. What's up, Sonny? Sonny, please. So we're gonna actually, what we're gonna do is go back to my old portfolio, the portfolio I got my first art test with. And what we're gonna do actually is we're gonna start with, I'm gonna go over and just kind of give you a little gander at what that website looked like. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take that same website and I'm gonna self-edit, you know, 15 years later, having looked at thousands of portfolios and being the hiring manager, right, for a bunch of different shit. So like talking about what I did and how I would do it differently. And then I'm gonna try and show you it, you know, honestly, I'm not really sure. This is a little different format than what I would normally do. I just basically stream till I'm done, usually. So I'm gonna do what I can today and we'll try and get a clear idea of, in fact, I'm gonna set a little timer for like the first hour. So what I'd like to do is show you my old portfolio, rebuild it really quickly using modern technologies, give you some do's and don'ts. And if anyone has portfolios that they want some feedback on with the things that are relevant to what we're talking about today, I'm totally happy to do that. In general, I would like for my time on here to be as interactive as possible. Sir 1, that's what I did. Sir 1 206. Are you from Seattle? Are you from Seattle, Sir 1? 206. I know that area code, dog. So I'm putting a timer on. Nice. Yeah, I live in Seattle too. So I actually am totally self-taught. I technically went to school for this stuff, but I was actually paying for my school with monies made from doing it. Oh, what's up, Ryan? What's my stance on higher education for character design? Does it lower your chances of getting a job if you don't have formal training? No, fuck that. Don't care. Do not care. Should not care. Actually, I'm a teacher too. So I taught at Future Poly in Seattle for 7 years, doing character art, like ZBrush specific. And you know, our whole MO there was just like show people what they need, and then try and find ways to help the specific person, right? So yeah, Jason, he's like one of my best friends. Like actually, he's been playing PUBG with me. You guys have been keeping up on my stream, So Much Monsters channel. Jason plays with me pretty consistently. Yeah, Marine, you could, if you wanna, Marine-tastic, are you Marine from Polycount? I feel like that's true, right? Also, what's up, dude? Yeah, so, I'm treating this a little bit more like my classes. I'm not gonna treat it as much, you took 3D at Seattle Central? Ah, nice. Did you take classes from Jason? Hey, Marsupilami, what's up, baby? All right, so, oh, I didn't actually post on Twitter. Yeah, that's actually where it started. Like, actually, that class is where Stokes started the, like, that's where he started, like, the, oh, wait, I could make a business out of this. Why don't we just do this instead of inside of a company? How good am I at drawing? You know, I would say I'm about a solid 3. I don't draw a lot, I do 3D. The combination for me though is where I do my design stuff. So the combination of the 3D and then I'll go paint over things. So I'm about a 10 on the paint over scale. So it's interesting. It's like the tools are just totally different. And it's all relative to where your strengths are. In the same way I would tell people, hey, you can do everything in ZBrush. You don't have to leave it. There are plenty of people that would say like, why would I ever do that? And that's totally cool. Okay, so let's check out my old portfolio. I want to talk about this now. Let's move on to like the actual, check this out. Here's Joe Pikop, circa 2000 or some shit. We're gonna find this portfolio here. Check this out. Oh no, I just copied the folder. That's strange. Hold on a second, I might have to go grab that folder again. Shit! Yeah, I gotta switch. Okay. Oh. Give me 1 second. So this is the portfolio that I was applying to places, where I finally did actually get an internship, and a couple art tests before I did actually get an internship. So my thought is, this stream we're gonna talk about getting to the point where you get that internship or you get that art test. Next time we'll talk about the dreaded art test and how you should approach it. And maybe I'll rebuild one of the art tests. Maybe that would be fun. I don't know. We'll see. I'm actually totally interested in hearing what you guys think in general about what we should be doing. So in between now and next Wednesday, you guys pop into my channel and just talk about it. Yeah, there's a lot of swords in here, man. Fucking big ol' sword fight. What, you can't use so much wax? Oh my god. Wait, Ryan, did your sub drop, bro? Hold on a minute. Did your sub drop? So much wax. Oh, Ryan. Unsubbed. Unsubbed, Ryan. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, Ryan. Alright. Alright, that's good. That's good. That's good. 0, red flag 0. Sorry, give me 1 second. I obviously I'm very prepared right now. Yeah, I grabbed the wrong folder. Or no, I didn't actually grab the wrong folder. Oh my lord. Here it is. This is how you get through my portfolio. So we're gonna go through, this is my old portfolio. Now, actually what I'm gonna do, this is all really fucking questionable stuff. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through all the things that I wouldn't do again. And I'm gonna show you guys what it should look like. Uh-oh. So just for context, it looks something like this. Actually, it didn't look, there's a different version of this. The index page isn't there, so I can't really show you that. But so like how I presented it, what's here, this is actually post my first job. So if we pretend like we didn't see all that, what we're gonna do is go back through and say, well, shit, howdy sunshine. How do we make this Oh, here it is. I got it. Check this out, Joe Pikop, artist. That's me. Was I super happy doing what? When I was learning? This shit was hard. I will say, like, I didn't know. So the reason I want to do it like this, and we're not actually doing a whole lot of ZBrush specific stuff today, is that I want you to understand you have to make it a job before it's a job. And so before we get to the part that's like cool, sculpting and whatever, there's a lot of work in getting to that point, to get that job. And it's a lot of being able to self-edit, being able to be smart about what your choices are, what you show, what you don't show. I think there's a lot of big mistakes that people make when it comes to, turn on this heater back here, when it comes to presenting their work. And I made a lot of them. So let's just get into it. Let's talk about it. Step 1, don't fucking overshare. Slow your roll and show the least possible. Do not highlight anything that is not good. Especially you being a douchey 20-year-old. I'm in the basement, Pixel, so it actually gets a little cold. I'm wearing a hoodie and I get a little chilly. Yeah, I'm in it's a man cave. This is my workspace here. And I'm subterranean. But I'm in Seattle, so it's like whatever. It's like, it's not actually cold. My feet are cold. What do you got it? You got something against me? No, man, it's not it's just like a little space heater. I don't want to turn on the heat for the house in the middle of the day when most of the house doesn't need anything. Anyway, let's start with the things that I think are absolutely huge mistakes. Is it worth a pro at ArtStation to be visible while building a portfolio, or is it bullshit? What? How do I say your name? Gregor? There's a lot of extras. Do you have bonus Z's in your name right now? Is that Gregor Barron? Got a lot of Z's. Gotta buy some vowels. It's hard to figure it out. What's up, Shapes? Nah, Paperclip House, this is my basement. That's my lamps. Those are my figures on the windowsill that you can't see because they're bokeh out. I don't actually know what Pro ArtStation is, so if you have a link, I would take a look at it and I'll give you my gut reaction. But so, a couple things that I did that are really bad. Super bad in this portfolio. First of all, the thumbnails, I actually don't know what most of this shit is. This thumbnail is particularly offensive. This model should never have been in my portfolio. So, learning to self-edit and knowing what's good, and especially if your friends tell you, hey, I don't know about that. Listen to them. Just kill them. But this is some stuff that I did that is super bad, and I absolutely discourage anyone ever from doing this ever for any reason. Don't write anything. Don't write any text. Did this model as an art test for Volition Incorporated in February of 2004. Texture was created in Photoshop CS in August 2004. These 300 to 500 polygons and textured in a 1024 map. Learned quite a bit about doing folded meshwork cloth and how to texture it. Model in 3D Studio Max 6, texture in Photoshop. Don't fucking do that. Never do that. No text, name and badge number. If you want to show anything, it's poly count. It's texture size. Don't write anything. You are not a writer, you are an artist. It is a mistake. All of my stuff has that. All of my stuff, like everything. When I look back at it, I'm like, oh my God. Joe, what were you doing? What are you doing? Stop it, dummy. Don't do it. More shit. Same thing. You don't want to be that guy. And even if you're like trying hard to like show personality, which is what I was trying to do, I just came across like a douche. Totally not cool. Same thing. This character was done for S2 games, period. I modeled, assigned UV coordinates, and textured this character from the concept provided. The render above is is show. It's like I can't even write a full sentence without some. I didn't go back and edit this. I didn't do any of that. 100% self-illumination. Yeah, great. Awesome. Whatever. Don't do that. Ever. Ever. And I know a bunch of you people right now are like, on my art station, I put a lot of comments in there, huh? Yeah. Don't do it. Delete them. This texture was done as a personal project. Chris Peterson modeled it. I did the initial UVs. I re-UV'd some areas and optimized it for space and detail. Textures are 512 and 256, shown in 100% self. I sound like a dick. I don't know. I was probably 19. 19? This is a long time ago. This is old shit. Like, old. So, we're going back. We're gonna go back, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna rebuild this portfolio. Not being an idiot, and being critical of what is good and what's not. What's up, Action? Yeah, I'm streaming here. That's true. What's up, Harry? All right, S2 Games, model UV map, texture them. Yeah, you get the point, right? Don't do it. Delete it all. If you have any commentary that even remote, if it's not just name and badge number, you are doing it wrong. Turn it off. So we start there. A couple other things that I'm doing in this particular gallery. So I'm oversharing. There's too much stuff. There's multiple pages. Like, these are useless shots, right? Use less. Show less. Show what makes you look good. Don't show shit that doesn't make you look very good. This does not feel very great, this image. This should go away. This is fine, but then why is there a second global illumination shot? And then a close-up with the wireframe. Please give job. Now that's a fair one. I like that. Tip my cup to you, Brent. That's nice. Bounce Back's got a good plan. Got a good plan. Demorillo static images. That would have been pretty bad too. Marine, we were kicking it back in this time. So Marine here, and actually I don't know, maybe Brent. I'm not sure if I knew you back at this time, Brent. Okay, so you get the idea here, right? Like, these are all too many. There's 18 images of this guy. This is the same image as this down here, roughly speaking, except for it's at 3/4. So we need to prune. We need to cut back. Oh, emo Frankenstein. Yeah. Actually, that's pretty cool. All things considered, this is old, so whatever. He's posed. This is another great. This is actually one of the things I did really smart at the time. It was very strange for me to have done that, right? Like, have a modeler try and do a 3D model and then rig it. Keanu Reeves Stein, yeah, exactly, James, yeah. So this was another one where I was like, okay, what did I do? I changed the color scheme and the gradient, and I gave it a mask. That was Donnie Darko, Frank from Donnie Darko. But like a shitty version of it, like a shitty model. Oversharing. Got a little attitude though. Got a little attitude. All right. This was for a mod a long time ago, right? Again, way too much fucking text. Don't do it. This right here? This is legit. That could be the text right there. That's all you need. But again, oversharing, too many images that look the same, don't really register as new things. Oh, more Peter Parker, great. All right, so let's say Ziggy was a while ago. So this is all before I actually had a job. Now, I did get an art test with everything in here except for this. This was the art test. Now the interesting thing about this is that this is not the art test that I submitted. I got an interview with this. I did not get the job. there are images in here that are for that art test. The original images. Let me grab them. Here's what I actually submitted. So this is my submission. Okay, so as concepted, kind of lame. Here's an example of a time where this is probably a better topic for next stream, but here's a situation where like the thing concepted wasn't all that super exciting. Is it hiccuping? You know what? I did not even think about it. Do you guys? I don't know if they get encoding. So I'm streaming at 1080p 60 frames per second, but that's because I'm partnered on my channel. It's smooth. Maybe try Sir One. Maybe try turning down the encoding a little bit. Okay, calm down, guys. Shit, I ain't trying to take your baby. Shit, I was just asking some questions. People coming out with pitchforks at me. So this is what I submitted, and I actually did get an interview. I flew to Volition, and I interviewed there. After I didn't get the job, I went and redid it. So this is the post art test rework because I was sort of embarrassed when I looked at it. I was like, what is this? Let's make a new portfolio, right? We're gonna start with this, Squarespace. We're gonna just do a Squarespace page. We're gonna get in here. This is as simple as it could possibly be. Let's get started. Boom. All right. Art and design. Scroll through, and what do we got? What's a lot of image? We need a lot of image. We got a lot of image somewhere. Wexley, that looks good. Nice margins. Start with Wexley. I'm gonna make a new account. Joseph Pikop. It's super weird to not have the dashboard for me, but whatever. What's up, Brendan? So 1 second here. What did I do there? Where did the Squarespace page go? Close some windows so I can regain confidence in where my screen is. What happened here? Yeah, existential, it is absolutely the most important thing is that you prune it down to the shit that's actually good. The best stuff that you have. If there's things that are kind of like dangling below, cut them off. No business screwing around with old shit. All right. Let's do this. Yeah, welcome to my new Squarespace. We are art and design. Yeah, home living, sure, whatever. Other. YOLO Jones. other. YOLO. Joe Pikop artist. We're gonna remake this whole shit. Look at that, Joe Pikop art. Look at this already. Jeez. Oh my goodness. Are you guys ready? We're just gonna, here we go. We're gonna just upload all of it. We're gonna just put it all in there. Are you ready for this shit? This is gonna be a pretty boss portfolio. You know what I mean? We'll edit. We have too many of everything, right? Let's do a new gallery. Add. Like, this is how simple this can be, right? Here it is. The internet is abuzz. No thumbnails. We want no thumbnails. Life is easy. Now this is too many images. It's gonna look stupid, but what we need to be able to do is say like, what is this portfolio? What do we got? What are we working with? What's good, what's bad? And as this crushes through all these images. So I'm trying to get my job, right? And I need to know what is good. So I want to know what you guys think is good. So don't even let me put anything in that's not good, right? Now, there's a lot of stuff here that is fine, but probably could be combined. These heads here and these textures, there's no reason they couldn't be one page, right? There's no reason to have, but that's a really great pose. I'm gonna live forever. But there's too much of everything, right? So let's scroll through here. Well, I want a job as a character artist, Reddington. That's my plan. I would like to get a job as a character artist. So I want to be equally doing the art and doing the technical stuff. So showing that I can do the technical things like rigging and skinning, worth it. So poses are huge. I want to show that I have a clear handle on Grandpa, like, yo, bro. I want to show that I know what I'm doing. Now, there's a lot of stuff in here that does not show that. I'm oversharing constantly, right? Delete the props. Are there props in here? Oh my goodness. Well, let's go through and we're gonna get rid of extras. We don't need this grayscale. We've got a clear idea of what he looks like up there. These should be combined into one image, but we can deal with that as we go. Definitely the volition art test should be combined into one image. We do not need this, like the side view of this character does nothing, shows nothing. Probably don't need second version of Bunny Girl, right? Not useful. Or more importantly, we don't need the Frank version. That's gone. Let's get this prune down. Wait, you don't like him? Get rid of him? What? That's my business right there. That's the best thing in here. Now, to be fair, remember, this is not about what I can do now. This is about what was the best things in the portfolio. What things are terrible? You know what I'm saying? So we definitely don't need two of these. Can I show you something, you guys? This is a secret agent move. I'm a big fan of my boy Bobo. And you'll see a bunch of these. The textures have Joe! Just in the margins, just floating around. Things like that are in there all over the place. It's absolutely 1,000,000%. Like one of the people I looked up to when I was learning, his name is Bobo the Seal. He's a friend now. He's like actually a homie. But at the time, I just looked up to that guy. His textures and everything were amazing. I want to show you this. I'll show you why that exists. If we go find, this is all old stuff too. If we find any of his textures, early on. I feel like this dude, maybe? No. You see it? I totally was biting his style. Emulation's so important. Knowing that, like, you have a goal in mind. I want to be as good as this guy. I'm not anywhere near as good as this guy. But, like, all the little things that I was doing to just try and be like that dude. Yeah, like, it's all... Emulation is great. It's when obviously it can go too far. I know this arm specifically I've seen in a lot of games that he never worked on. That texture. Just like... Yeah. I worked at Motiga. I don't work at Motiga anymore. But yeah, that's me. Anyway, you can see that in my stuff. Like, you'll see like little nods to the people that kind of hooked me up. So this image should go, right? That's definitely not our first image. Let's get rid of it. Oh, what did I just kill? I deleted something I don't think I meant to. Now these images need to be combined. So what we're gonna do is, for that guy, I'm gonna pop Photoshop open, and I'm just, even if I'm not gonna actually do a real thing, I'm gonna do just a new image. We're gonna open up those boys. This guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, and their friend, the textured version, which is somewhere in here. Oh, we're not even on the right folder. Oh my god. Aren't we? How did I have the... Interesting. Oh, there's more stuff. Look at this. We're missing out on some goodness. Oh, here's one of my first sculpts in Mudbox. Beta, alpha, something. I was sculpting for the first time in Mudbox. This is a ZBrush version of him. The actual version that I did, it was like early on. I actually switched back and forth so much early on. Oh, we're missing some real goods here, guys. Oh, that's not how we do it. How do we...
Other day.
Nah, it was actually totally different. It's just such a different world. You end up with like just a completely different set of tools to work with. Just painting a texture was a different thing, right? You weren't building form, you weren't building like creating lighting from actual form. You were faking lighting to fake form. It's pretty incredible. Yeah, exactly, Mav. Is it Maved? Mav 3D? Maved? I don't know. So let's start pruning again. This lady, she done. Peter here, Peter Parker. You are not doing me any favors. It's interesting to see this this version of this texture. This is my first version. This is, like I said, this is all done before I had actually edited and went back and said what isn't good enough, right? This right here is the first texture. This is the texture that I did for that character, even with like broken seams. Like look at the ankles. So there's stuff that I wasn't doing then, fixing stuff like that, that I went back and edited in the next version of the portfolio. Thoughts on just regular T or A poses? If you can, pose your character. Not a question. In fact, that's one of the things I want to do today, is sort of show you guys how to kind of bootleg operation, take a ZBrush model, use some transpose stuff, and actually get a high poly pose, similar to, like, I actually haven't done it. I was gonna do it on one of these guys or her, but I have done it on a few characters. You can see, like, this is a ZBrush model. I did it to make a print, which is in here somewhere. It might be in the back. I just like totally spit. So I did this to pose him for a print, not for portfolio, but like shit, when you get a nice posed version of your high poly, how dope. Pixel, I have a Form 1 that I conveniently bought right before the Form 1 Plus was announced. There's a few characters that I have high poly poses for. It just looks so much better when you do it. Maybe it's not a few, it's just a couple. So I have a version of, oh no, I did the Paco ball. Anyway, I wanna go over that later. We're gonna do a bunch of different things today. So what else we got? What else are we gonna get rid of, guys? Oh, did the new ones not show up? They didn't show up. Where are the new boys at? My first texture ever just here. Too many images, right? We don't need the smooth shading. We've got a version of that with color. These are all looking fine. We need to combine them. Now that's still probably my best asset right now. Like if we grab these guys here, we don't need the concept in there. That's definitely not needed. So let's get rid of that image. This one right here. So it's all about editing, right? You get to the point where you really know what is good and what's bad. This should go. This should go. Let's be really brutal here. Let's just trash it all that's not useful. What's showing that I have skill? Oh, here's the remade version of that. So let's get rid of, we don't need textures for that. Matter of fact, most of these grayscale models should just go. So yes, Neiman, we're going through, this is my first portfolio. This is right before I got my first job at Turbine, a long time ago. And so what I'm doing is going back and sort of taking out shit that says, I don't know what I'm doing. Or I have better things to show that I know what I'm doing. Let's get rid of the bind pose because we've got a posed version of her. Let's get rid of, this could all be one image. Honestly, we can do one clean image of that art test. Let's do that because like that's the kind of stuff that you want to be doing. We don't necessarily need the textures. Maybe we could combine all three of the heads, Frankenstein's head, because they all feel similar. Well, Maj, that's the thing, man. That's the important thing, is like figuring out what you need to be doing to get there. Look, here's more Bobo biting right here. You see that? Joe! Yeah, Joe! Joe with an exclamation point, Joe! Yeah, exactly, Bobo the Seal. Bearded Wanderer, that's a really good question. So here's the thing, here's my point of view when it comes to that stuff. One, don't overshare. If your model is actually super clean, like I would say this is a good example. Like this model is pretty legit. That's pretty good topology for the time period. This is actually a pretty respectable model. Now, I have some friends who recently have got some jobs who my feedback has always been stop showing your wireframes because they're not good. You really aren't good at that. Most of the time, the truth is when you actually do get to the point of being marketable, you have skills that someone wants to hire you for, you can get that job. And things like topology, like the more technical things that you're failing at, they can be learned. And so if you know you're not very good at it, don't show it. Or show it in a way, like the best way you can. Does that make sense? Just don't overshare. If you're bad at something, why would you highlight it? This can go, these poses, I think the potty break, bathroom break, is kind of stupid. Doesn't have the flavor of that character. We don't need this straight front on shot. These all probably should be combined. I don't know how there's so many of this one guy. Reddington, I do not advise anyone ever, if you're trying to get a job, to let me look at your model. Like for example, let's go to ArtStation real quick. You do not want me to be able to actually fully scrutinize everything you do. That's actually pretty dope. That's pretty dope. That's dope. That's really dope. That is great. That looks awesome. That's nice. So how do I find art, like you do not want me to be able to go in and do this. Now this is fine. This is a great example of like, it looks fine. I absolutely do not advise you to do it because I will find problems with everything you do. I don't need to see this. Present it well. Show me that you have good taste. Show me that you have good judgment. Do not let me do this. It's not useful. And frankly, I'm rarely gonna use it. People that are gonna look at this are gonna be people that are just looking at ArtStation. Like, I'm sure I can find more of those. I mean, I don't even like when someone sends me that stuff, I don't even click it. I'm sure this one looks like he's oversharing, so, nope, okay. I do not advise it. That's not a good look to let me just dig in. Deleted. I would say the best use for like Marmoset Viewer and Sketchfab, I think that they're awesome in sharing assets that you don't really care about people scrutinizing. In fact, you want them to. When you see someone put up their tool bag viewer version of a model, they're not looking for a job. It doesn't even matter if you find things that are kind of like, what are you doing? That's kind of crazy. Don't give me reasons to not interview you and to not get the opportunity to explain where you're coming from and what you're doing, why you're doing it the way you are. A huge part of the job is just having good judgment. And that's the thing you want to prove, right? You want to prove that you are you're a thoughtful individual who's going to have great things to say about why we should or shouldn't do something. And if you just show me stuff that pretty much just says, oh, this guy doesn't have good judgment, you don't even get a chance to have that conversation. All right, so let's prune again. Prune again. These heads, not hype. So I think this is my best model, but it's not textured. So he goes in the front for me. That's one of the first things I want people to see. That's another thing to think about. What is the thing that you get to see right away? What's up, Bean? This Frankenstein I think is second best. Now, it's interesting, I think this image here, how do we go back to the gallery here? We have too many images of that guy, let's get rid of that. It's all about reduction, all about simplifying, all about making this like easy for me to know I want to see something from this guy. Pretty questionable. I really wish this was the bottom layer of that. But I think this goes. We don't need to see this texture. It's not really all that impressive. But this is something that you need to get good at yourself. You need to be able to look at your own stuff. Delete, reduce, simplify. Less is more. Is more is more is more. You want to be at the point where you can show me something and be like, hey, obviously you know what you're doing. Here's a great example of like, why is this not the thing that's got the pose? Why is this pose and that's not? this should probably go away. But it's dynamic, and this is not. So like, what do you do there? You probably rearrange them. Now this texture is not very, this texture is not super great. This is very early texture styles. You don't need to see my texture for this, you can see the final. You probably need to have these two images combined. Sneeman, I can tell you that I would not look at your Marmoset viewer in a portfolio. I look for images and I actually get frustrated if I've got to click and wait. If you just imagine, think about the perspective of the person that has to look at all that stuff. Literally just clicking the button and waiting for it to load. That amount of time, if you have to look at 50 portfolios, and that's like an added thing in your job. It's not like you don't have responsibilities to finish other shit and go to meetings and do all that stuff. The person that has to look at it, the best thing you can do for them is show them great things in an image form that's simple to understand. Oh, this guy knows what he's doing. This girl knows what she's doing. Figuring that out and knowing that that's the person that's going through it is going like, looking for something that says it's a ding, like it's positive or it's negative. If it's negative, close the portfolio, go to the next one, right? Think about that. It is not part of the job that you really get. Like, I don't know any hiring manager that can say they genuinely get the time they need to spend on that. You know, it really depends on your point of view, Gregor. Existential. Oh, sorry, Gregor. What I would say is like, think about the most important thing is for you to think about why you're showing it. Is it actually a good asset from 10 years ago, or is it a story? For me, I have one asset in my portfolio that, like, if someone asked me what my least, the worst thing in my portfolio is, I know what it is. It's not a question. It's these little jokers. It's not a question that these are the worst thing in my portfolio. But they're there because there's charm and there's a story behind them. And they're a thing that I actually don't mind leveling a little bit. Like just being like, oh, well, these are quick assets, but they meant a lot to me for the reasons that I kept them. But if you look at my portfolio, the shit I'm not showing, I've done this for 17 years, 16 years. I've done this for 16 years. I've been making video games, and for 16 years, you see, this is the oldest thing in there probably, I think. Let me look. I'm not certain. Yeah, that's the oldest thing in there. But it's all about what you want to show people, and I think it's important to know that, like, this particular portfolio, I've edited the shit out of, right? I have tons of stuff that I've done, but for whatever reason I don't think it's cool enough. That I don't think should be shown. I don't think it needs to be shown. And it's important to note that my purpose for this portfolio was not necessarily job hunting. My purpose for this portfolio is just showing the things that I'm interested in. And so there's plenty of stuff that I've done that isn't in here, that is stuff that I could do that I'm not interested in. So if someone wants to hit me up and ask me to do some work, it's like, well, this is kind of the thing that I'm into. This is the world that I'm into. Stylized fantasy, you know, some like hard surface robo stuff, but mostly stylized fantasy, right? Like I really enjoy that. I don't really necessarily, like this is probably the exception. It's an art test I did for Bungie a bunch of years ago. But I think it shows a skill set that's worth saying, like, I could do this stuff, but I don't necessarily want to. Yeah, Sam, Kekai, yeah, this, so these are, yeah, I'm not gonna tell a story now, but the reason that they're in here is for the story of why I ended up making them. And it actually really is. It's like, the short of the long is, I saw those same images while I was working at ArenaNet, and I was like, shit, why aren't these in the game? I don't understand. They're doing scaled down babies, or scaled down adults as babies, and it looks stupid. Why don't I just make some stuff? And I did, and it was, there's some drama, but it worked out. Anyway, I think this girl should go. I think things that aren't textured actually on my old portfolio should probably just start dropping out. We don't really need to show, like, we show better models here. Sneema and I I was the lead character artist for most of the project. The last month and a half, 2 months, I quit, so. So self-editing, so important. Let's do this. Let's get our So let's do this. This is what you should be doing. So if you want to present stuff, if you want to do extra, you want more images, fine. That's fine. Good for you. Like, that's great. But let's make it easy for a brain to process, right? It's one image. Well, shit, I don't have any good images for this. Oh, here. What jerk didn't do a 3/4? 3/4 are your friend. You should just do 3/4. And then make this hierarchical, right? Like, what are you actually trying to show? Trying to show that you know, whatever that image is. Presentation is key, man. It's so important. Now, this is old shit, and so I'm not gonna talk about what things are messed up on this, but I will say the simplicity of just having one image. Even going so far as to just stacking these two. And then we get rid of what was there. We trash them all. Anything that was that guy, we get rid of it all. And we just put in wat.jpg. One image to rule them all. Who invited you? This car. Probably should go, right? Photo source. Not even what I want to do. I don't want to photo source textures. Gnarly, that's actually, so this was an art test for Volition. The project code name was Bling Bling, but it's what turned into Saints Row. It was the first Saints Row. Ziggy, you get the point. I'm trying to pop through. So that there's a reason. Yeah, it was called Bling Bling at the time. I swear to God, the name of the game was Bling Bling. The code name is Bling Bling for Saints Row. Insider tip right there. I remember when I interviewed, they showed me the Bling Bling shader. Actually, it was more stylized than the first version. They showed me the Bling Bling shader that would like it basically would like lens flare on gold. Yeah, that's literally the name of it. I swear to God, I'm not fabricating at all. That's the code name. But anytime there was a gold chain or like jewelry, it would just Well, initially it was more stylized, honestly. This is so the concept for this, if you see it and you played the game, there's a little bit more style. There's a little bit more like everything's just a little bit longer, a little bit more sharp, right? Hori Sheet, that's a really good question. And actually I would. If you look at my page now, you can see like when I present the high polys, I use the same setup in Keyshot. I sent it from ZBrush to Keyshot, which is really dope, by the way. This one I couldn't because I didn't have the right setup when I rendered it. But you can see all the gigantic stuff. I rendered everybody's assets the same way. I think this one I might have done levels afterwards, which is why it gets brighter. But yeah, I try and use the same environment. It definitely gives you, there's certain artists that if you look at their ArtStation and you see their high polys, and then it's like, they use those particular mental ray renders and they do a specific thing each time. And you see that like the, there's a few people that use the same yellow plastic material. And it makes everything look like this incredible toy. Getting kind of a signature move like that is totally worth it. So then when you see it again, you're like, oh, who is, that might be that Joe Pikop guy. Totally worth it. I try and do the same thing with in-game shots or like renders like this. The difference with these is I was choosing a color that would make the character not look ridiculous. So generally I try and use contiguous at least colors. I don't want them to be opposite. And so it's pretty easy when you have a bright colored game like Gigantic, where you have this purple and blue guy, and then you want to present, you know, grays. It doesn't really work the same. So, but you know, having a consistent point of view is important. So I think we should get rid of, honestly, like I think we should get rid of, well, we should truncate, but like here's an example. This boy here and this boy, let's combine them. This is important. Like honestly, when I see portfolios that have that, you'll have like 10 images of the same guy, and you'll zoom in on the shoe and zoom in on the shoulder. Show me that part. Show me the face close up. Show me the back of the head. I don't need that. Show me the best shots that you've got. Like take all those shots. That's fine, but then learn to prune. Oops. That was image size, not canvas size. So do something like this instead. Pretend I didn't just scale that. Listen, Ziggy, I'm sorry about just avert your eyes, Zig. Avert your eyes. You know what? Just for you, Ziggy, actually. Let's do the opposite. We'll scale down his friends. How about that? Sorry, Ziggy. I don't want to trigger you. Ziggy trigger. And give the big boy a little space. You know what I'm saying? Zig, does that make you feel better? Are we okay? Ziggy, we still friends? Tell me we're still friends, Zig. Zig, we still homies, bro? Okay, we're good. We're good. Okay, so here, this is a better image. Strictly a better image, right? Like, let's just talk about how much difference that makes, right? These are the kind of things that, like, when you start saying, hey, listen, Linda, honey, let's make this right. Let's do the right thing. This is the stuff that happens. You delete these. Get them out of here. Get this garbage out of here. No, we don't do that here. We go back and we bring in what2.jpg. And look at how much cleaner this gets so quickly, right? Like, so it's easy mode stuff. But it matters so much. Like, how much better does this look already? The first two images, right? Pop, pop, yeah. Get it, get that job. So, like I said before, the beginning of a career doing this starts from learning to self-edit, understanding what oversharing is and how you can avoid it, like what you can do better. And at the end of the day, when you do actually get to the point that you're marketable, the first images in your portfolio should make me go, damn, that's cool, right? And things that don't make me go, damn, that's cool, like this guy, he's gone. He's done. Here, let's do one more. Here's another, one more simple, we'll do this and then we're gonna move on to my next thing. I'm gonna grab these 4 heads because they're all similar style, right? They all have the same kind of flavor. All right, later, Cube. Thanks for stopping by. I'm not sure why I sounded like Mr. Hanky, but I'm not mad. You mad? We're gonna pretend like I didn't just delete pixels off this outside. Sorry, Ziggy. My man, I'm sorry. Sorry about what I'm doing right now. Are you okay, Zig? You gonna make it, Zig? I know I'm doing you dirty right now, bro. Ziggy, listen. I'm actually not busting your balls. I'm actually trying to do right. I'm trying to do right. I want you to feel good. You know, I'm trying to be careful with people's triggers here. We'll pretend like that line isn't there, right? ZBrush triggers you? Oh man, ZBrush is the best thing, man. ZBrush is the best. That's the best. You can't be triggered by that. That's not. I can't help you with that because you on your own. ZBrush and I are buddies. You know what I mean? There used to be some triggers. I gotta say, like, when I first started teaching ZBrush, that was a world. Like, I feel like at that point you had to be kind of an apologist for like UI atrocities and things like that. But it's actually really like it's so clean now. And in fact, I think it's actually easier than teaching someone 3D Studio Max. That's how you do it, Expecto. That's all you need is a little color background. Just a little. You notice it was a sensible, flavored color. Just a slight amount. You know what I mean? Alright, so let's stack rank. I feel like this guy should go up, right? He moves up into this zone. Look at this territory up here. If you just look at, we're gonna stop after this. I just want you guys to look at the difference between like, hey, here's my portfolio, and where'd it go? And hey, here's my, oh, that's not it. That's the OG. There you go. Like this stuff? Just as like a presentation, right? Starting from that. Gnarly, I can't answer that. I think maybe we talk to the Pixelogic boys and girls that are in the channel. I don't have that information. I am merely a modest streamer. I'm here, you know, streaming all this ZBrush shit I'm doing. Okay. So the point is, and I do have a point, is that when you learn to self-edit, show the right thing, and have really clean presentation for the things that you want people to know you're good at, you're ready. You're gonna go that way, right? It's gonna happen. The difference between this and clicking through and finding, that's the updated version. I don't know where the fuck. I don't know where the old stuff went. I did texture this girl at one point. Super weird face. Oh, this is all old stuff. This newer stuff for a later date. So, you guys, does anybody have any questions? Anybody have anything they want me to look at? Like, if you have a current portfolio, if you want me to give you some feedback, redline and just say like, hey, get this out of here. Hey, don't do this. I'm happy to do that. I'll let you guys marinate on that for a second. Use the bathroom. We'll be right back. Reddington, I just look at the first thing. I mean, I can only speak to what I do. I look at this right here, and if this catches my attention, I'll scroll. I'll scroll through. I don't go for the first and last. Yeah, I got a P brush. Exactly, Tanuki. Nailed it. I'm gonna run to the bathroom real quick, possibly refresh my beverage. So, I'm gonna show you guys. I have to say, I'm a hoodie based man, and pretty sure Kyle sent me a ZBrush care package, bunch of swag, which is super dope. But I want to show you something. This just makes me feel like a monster. So much monsters. It's like for a tiny person, but it's an XL. It makes me feel like too big. Oh my god. Oh boy. Alright, so a couple people posted stuff, right? I know. Got orangutan arms. Like long ass arms over here. Exactly, Marsupilami. Oh man. I will say that my purchase of ZBrush was something that has paid me many times over. Like crazy difference. Alright, so I'm clicking back, scrolling back. So let's see. We got Raul Tavares. Okay, Raul, what we got? What do we got? Interesting. From Lisbon. I love Lisbon. You know, Raul, do you have the link? Is there a... Are you literally art.artstation? You son of a bitch. That is swaggy. Alright, this is all really dope. This feels really good. Now, what I will say is, I feel like there's so much. I can't imagine that you think all these are your favorite things, right? This looks dope though. I mean, honestly, your stuff is really good. Like, first glance, I like a lot of this. This guy, no good. I don't want to be anywhere near that man. Not interested. Unsubscribe from him. Okay. I'm not sure I would put the speed sculpt in. What kind of feedback do you want? I feel like you clearly have your shit together. So do you actually want feedback, or are you just showing me your stuff? So I can definitely get in the weeds giving feedback on this stuff. I think this page doesn't make it look like you have your shit together right here. That's pretty good. I'm genuinely like fully anti posting work in progress in any place where you're gonna show your real work. Like when you want to show what you're trying to do, what you're trying to get a job doing. I'm totally against work in progress. I don't think that's a good choice. So I would, if I were you, simplify there. Wait, is this your stuff? Wait, what's going on here? Oh, I'm in speed scopes. I went to speed scopes. That's my fault. Okay. So commission work. Yeah, no, you do have too many things. Like I was saying, like you should figure out what you want to show people. I mean, you got a lot of awesome stuff, dude. Honestly, this is like, the thumbnails aren't doing you much of a favor though. I feel like you can get a little bit better crop. You know, I feel like this is a good example of like, I like that crop. That I wanted to click it. I don't necessarily love the model, but I love, like, I got a clear vibe of what that was. This guy, I feel like great pose, great shapes in general. Nice render also. Yeah, in general, I think finding a little more consistency in how you present these things, like this guy sticks out to me. Get rid of the text. You don't need to know, people don't need to know it's experimental. Like this is a good example of like, that's fine. And this is fine. But it's simplify. Brendan, I don't have a strong opinion on that. I think as long as your work comes through and feels right. I realized I missed a bunch of text while I was upstairs. So if you guys ask a question, I would love for you to re-ask it. I will click through the other portfolios as well. But I think this is a good example where you have so much stuff, Tavares. If you spend a little time to get a little more consistency in how you present it, it would feel a little bit less chaotic. But then also prune down. I feel like this is, I can't imagine. Yeah, so like this, I would cut this. It's fine. Yeah, pick your stuff. Pick your stuff and like what you really love. Because I can't imagine that you think all these are your best things. I think that you're the best critic. You should be the best critic of your own work. This is cool as shit. That's great. I love that the micro detail of the smaller shapes goes away. You get big forms in between. It's hard to do this. It's hard to actually make Rock Monster, Crystal Monster, not look like a mess. But yeah, I think you just need to prune out some stuff. Like pick the things like the techie stuff, get the best techie stuff. The super fantasy stuff, get the best super fantasy stuff. Jim Corcoran, really? What are you doing with Jim Corcoran? What is this for? good. I like that. Huh. Yeah, in general, I think you got a lot of great stuff. Let's just click through other parts real quick. Personal stuff. I love this for all the reasons. That's dope. I love it. I don't love that. I think that's material is weak. This is super great. This might be an overshare, I think. Too many. Pick the best image and stick with it. Well, Arts of Various, like, why don't you just spend a little time and just pick out the things that you think are great. I don't think you should have this in here. I don't think this is not strong enough. I think you have way stronger stuff. The material in this is super weird to me. This is a really solid sculpt. These are the one thing I'll say is a lot of these. Do you do just miniatures primarily? Because I feel like a lot of the sculpt is in that form of like, oh, I'm gonna sculpt just this much, and then when I get it printed, it's gonna show up sort of. Anyway, you need to simplify. I do not think this thumbnail alone made me say don't do it. Turn it off. Delete that. Booty. It's a nice booty though. I think this is generally pretty good. I don't really like that it's just so I don't like material renders from ZBrush, and I can tell that that's what this is, right? It's the high poly. I can see some of the matte caps, the skin matte caps in there kind of blended in. I just don't like those. It's kind of like, okay, so I love super well done versions of the same. But the thing about doing renders like that is that it can very quickly become kind of Photoshoppy, right? Like this guy right here is just very noisy because of the material you used. If you imagine like early digital painting days, like lens flares are a great example of a thing you shouldn't have in an image once you realize that everybody was aware of what they were. You never want people to know your tricks, right? And when I can see tricks, it doesn't feel super great to me. Like I'm just like, yeah, how much of this is a sculpt versus how much of this is photo manipulation? Anyway. Whatever this is, I want it. What is that? I want him. He's so cute. I want to hug him. Anyway, I think you have a little bit of just, hey, fucking slow down, man. Simplify, do less. Put up less. I think you can prune out a bunch of stuff. This is cool, but it's not necessarily the best thing I've seen in here. Anyway, I hope that's... really, honestly, I think you already knew that I was gonna say there's too much stuff. I think when you have a consistent style of asset, presenting it a consistent way, you know, I think this is the one page where I think my triggers go off with the commission work. They feel like they're supposed to be for the same game, even though I know they're not. I can see that they're not. But at least like rendering them in the same way when you're doing something for the same asset group. That'd be great. Anyway, I think you're doing a great job in general, so. The one thing I can't tell you from looking at it is what your focus is. I don't know what you really want apart from to do figures, right? So you can use your portfolio when you have this large of a body of work, simplify it and show people what you want to be doing, right? I think that you have enough quality to get to the point where you can start making choices that are about, do I want to do that project or not? Like it's not just someone's gonna talk to you and be like, hey, can you make me a photoreal sci-fi stormtrooper kind of guy? They're not gonna do that. Or they shouldn't do that. I lost my Twitch page, so I'm sorry. What happened? What happened? Shit. Where'd you guys go? 1 second. I would re-render some stuff. A little bit. Not all of it, but a little bit. Alright, so I'm gonna do like 2 more of these. Like what? I would re-render some stuff. Shit, that's my voice. I don't need to hear me. No, I lost. There were like 3 people.
1 hour of strictly Monster Cat music.
I fucked up. Guys, I'm sorry. My chat is missing in action. So those of you that posted right after Tavares or Avaris, is it Art Avaris or Art Tavares? I missed you. I'm sorry. I goofed. I don't know what happened to my screen. Like Alright, so I'm scrolling back through text here. Daniel Amaro. Anybody that was before Daniel Amaro, you need to repost it if you want me to take a look. Daniel. You're oversharing. I'm already seeing that you're oversharing. There are way too many images on here. Show me 1 sculpt image. That's the 3/4. Definitely the 3/4. Try not to do front, back, side, whatever. This is not useful. Like I said before, I don't feel positive towards Marmoset Viewer when you're trying to get a job. Totally positive when you don't give a shit. If I go look and I'm like, what's up with your wireframe? What's going on here? Oh, your topology's all messed up. Oh, you don't know how to make a new animate. So I would say slow your roll. And show way less things. Give me 2 images total for this guy. Combine all this stuff together. Remember we were talking about earlier this exact thing, right? All these were separate images before. Give me 1 thing where I can look at it and be like, that's a cool model, or it's not. That's the best thing you can do for me. Think about the person that's gonna look at your stuff first and foremost, right? What is your audience? It's not just posting on ArtStation, right? You're not going for likes. You're actually looking for me to look at it as a hiring manager and be like, this guy's got something cool that I want to talk to him about. And so do that. Start there. Start with what your actual audience is, not what your clicky license or audience is. This is an example of still too many shots. I would take front, back 3/4. That's it. Here, this is not necessary for me to see. In fact, I actually feel like you could probably do more with less. It definitely looks a little Drake's Fortune-y, but the budget of the overall character doesn't look like that. Actually, it does look like that. You're pretty high res in here. So again, share what makes you look good, and then assume that I'm gonna ask you for information. Still, again, too many images. This is literally, I mean, is it actually asymmetrical? Looks like it is asymmetrical. Showing me the front, left and right at a 10-degree difference is not useful. 1 image there. Front side views, irrelevant. 3/4 tell me everything I need to know as a person that looks at models all the time. This is good, this is not. This is good, that is not. interesting, but it's not, you're not convincing me that that's in the scene through the materials that you're doing. So I don't think that's a good image. This is a better image technically speaking, because this looks like, it's uncanny valley, right? Where the material isn't quite up to snuff. So if you worked on the material a little bit more, made that look a little more realistic, identify what's different about the rubber versus the metals, and try and figure that out. Try and figure out what's the right thing. I don't think you should do this. And it's the same images, right? So have 2 images. It's like a baby APC. I'm not worried about the real world equivalence of it. I think really the important thing is that it should feel like material wise, I think you have work to do on this. This is more general portfolio advice than actual, like the thing we talked about today so far. Still interesting. What is this? This is interesting. Not what I expected. I like it. I like it for different reasons though. This definitely feels more illustrative than it does feel like a 3D model. I'm sure you did a combination. I like this more than that. I think the shading definitely tells me some stories about what you did. I like the flavor of this. This is kind of cool. I would love to see more stuff like that. That's pretty cool. Like what a fun, almost like papercraft feeling. That's really interesting. So I like this less because it actually breaks the illusion that it's just the simple thing. I start seeing like more material and depth. So think about that. Maybe find a way to make this look a little bit more papercrafty, a little bit more like illustration. There's a little more lighting maybe than there should be. A little bit more like physical lighting than there should be. I like what you're doing though. That's cool. It's a cool idea. And I hope you do more of that. I hope you do like cool kind of combinations of that. In general, I think like portfolio wise, you should give me less things. I feel like there's this cloth and fold study is this, and so don't do that to me. Like they're the same model, right? You're way oversharing. Don't share this with me. In fact, I didn't even think, like when I looked at this, I didn't think Marvelous Designer. I would say that when I thought you might have sculpted it, that was pretty legit. You know, I feel like if this is just Marvelous Designer, then you should sculpt more, push more into it. Everybody that does the Marvelous Designer thing well, that I've seen, I actually am not a Marvelous Designer dude myself. I've used it a little bit, but when I see it done well, I see, hey, here's the base pass. Let me give these big folds, the major shapes, all the information that kind of is like this brain computation that takes a while to build to when you're sculpting yourself. But then it's finessed into like something that feels a little more natural. Everything feels a little tight right now. Like it's not got the right gravity involved. And so I would push that a little bit more. Anyway, 1 page for that guy. And an important thing is that you should not worry about the fact that you don't have enough stuff. That shouldn't be your worry. Is it good enough? That's the worry, right? You only have one asset that it looks like it's game ready or could be game ready. You need to do more of that. You need to show more of that. Anyway, yeah. I talked a lot, I'm sorry. Let me go back and look. Sarah Wright, artist, and let me read through the text real quick. So, Action asks, would you recommend ZBrush when you're a hard surface environment modeler? Not ZBrush using character modeling. I mean, I recommend ZBrush for anybody that's trying to do high-res anything. I'm personally much more in I'm an old man and I hard surface model in Max or Maya. Well, in Max specifically. And I do it with a lot of like little shenanigans tricks. So most of my hard surface models go back into ZBrush afterwards. But I definitely prefer the tools outside. I do think that there's some really cool stuff that I've been trying to integrate into my workflow. But again, I'm an old man. It takes a while to get to that point. But yeah, I use ZBrush for everything, and I would use ZBrush for everything. There's just so many things that are absolutely like vital to doing high poly stuff. Sorry, I'm catching up on chat. There's a lot. If you want to become a character artist, you want to make more stuff in 3D, like props and environments, where I have to upload it. I'm not sure what you're asking me, Mr. Hyde. ArtStation ? Portfolio ? Not entirely sure what you're asking. Oliver, that's cool. You're editing your portfolio. Resner's Rage. You mentioned showing less, but I wonder about how I should display a bunch of models for the same game. Example, I do low poly for Roblox, but don't feel like I should have a single image per model because I made like 60 of them over the past 7 months. I'll show you how I approach that in an old portfolio. How do I get there? Yeah. These things didn't make the cut. They're gone. Sorry, 1 second. Well, I might actually have those in my... Do I have any in there? I have nothing! Give me 1 second. Here's some later. For Empire 3, I did a couple images like this, where for each zone, for the exact same reason, where I was like, I did a bunch of shit that was like not necessary for me to show you everything, but here's a group of characters that made sense together. Now this is all stuff that I've cut from my portfolio since, but just for context, right? Picked like little themes and posed them and put them in the scene. Oh, here's a great example. Here's what I did for that art test when I actually did that second pass on it. Makes sense, right? You can see the difference between how I presented things in my first portfolio and how I started presenting them eventually, right?
Hey everybody, it's Steve Walking here, and you're listening to the Monster Cat Podcast. This next song is called Short Shorts. I wrote it, and it's written by me. Thanks.
One image. This is too much. I would not show textures anymore. Maybe it would do like something similar to this, where it's like combinations, but... One of my thoughts about doing a complex tutorial and share it for portfolio work. Usually entire character in ZBrush, including... Wait, it just moved. Polypaint and posing and hard surface vehicle. I don't know what you're saying, Marcel Bellamy. Oh, are you just saying like posting tutorials. Like I do that, and I actually have done that for a long time. There's a world where that's actually a pretty useful thing to do. Oh, here's another. This is another. Oh, misfire. Here's another like D&D online NPC heads that I made. Bunch of them. Same thing, just like showing so much shit. But I get a clear flavor of when I look at this, I'm like, oh yeah, okay, sure. Mr. Hyde says, I listen that if you want to become a character artist, for example, you should only upload characters. Maybe having a personal portfolio is not a bad idea, don't know. So, all right, there's a lot of bad things that can happen with portfolios, right? And they aren't things that you'd think about. If I get a portfolio that is all environment art, and this has actually happened, or vice versa, it's all like a portfolio, like they're applying for a character position with all environment art, or applying for an environment art position with all character art, or with like primarily that, or their best stuff is in one or the other. It makes it really hard as a hiring manager to not say, fuck, this person really wants to make environments, but they're applying for this character job, but they do have some respectable character work. It's hard. You want to make the job as easy, like make my job hiring people, make it as easy as possible for me to say yes. So when I get to the point of saying there's 2 guys or 2 girls or whatever mix you have there, there's 2 people that we want to talk to, and one person has a really great portfolio, but it's all environments with just a little bit of character work, and the other one has all character work and clearly is trying really hard to be better at being a character artist. It's hard to not say, hey, take the person that wants to do characters. Does that make sense? So make it easy for me. Like if you're applying for a job that says character art in the title, and you do have character art, but it's not as much, you can make it easy on me as a hiring manager to say, here's the stuff that you're gonna care about. That also includes things like concept art, that includes photography, that includes your like personal interests. Take those out. Make it like purity of purpose, right? Like show me what you want to be doing. Don't let me have any questions. Does that make sense? It's tough sometimes, but it's important. What's up? What's up, Crash? You hear that Microsoft Paint now has a 3D feature? Oh my god, leave a kind. Oh, Phoenix, talking to someone from Naughty Dog, artist suggested that you putting all your effort in a single best piece of your work portfolio because everything else won't make an impact on the reader. I'm not sure I necessarily agree with that totally. Like you still, I think if you look at this, like where we were at when we were editing this, right? We're editing my original portfolio. This is what makes an impact, right? You showed me a bunch of stuff instantly. I see 5 things on this screen right now. And I get a flavor of this person. I know what they're about. It is true that the first thing you click on is the thing that like can make or break it, but if it is your best thing, yeah, there's so much text going on right now. I'm trying to keep up, I'm sorry. I think you guys feel me, right? Like, put your best foot forward. This first screen is important. What do I see, right? What about 3D generalist? How do you show your focus? Sure, if you're a generalist, like that's different though, right? Like you were not, you're not actually jumping into the same group when you're saying, hey, I'm a generalist, and you're applying for generalist jobs. And people will respect that, right? There's a difference. And I think that knowing what you're looking for and what you want to be doing if you're a generalist and you apply for a character art job, then you damn sure better make it look like you want to do character art when you do apply. Magic Muffin, yeah, definitely. I think I got a couple more in me. I want to show you guys some more stuff about presentation that's like some next level shit. I know Sarah and my dude Reddington had posted. Okay, I'm gonna start with, I'm not sure what I'm looking at yet. Okay, video. I'm not gonna click the video because I want to click on image. I want to see images. I'm gonna click video because you posted it. But legit, I want images. Again, it's all about judgment, and it's all about me being able to say like, hey, this person, look at Sarah Wright. She's got this dope 3D model on this first page. Show me art first, primarily. You're making me go one step in. Don't do that. Get your stuff on one page, right? Do this. I open your website. I see your things. You show me the best things that you have. I swear to God, this is your first job. Before you have a job, this is your fucking job. Is to figure out what it is that people care about. I'm dropping a little science right now, but I'm saying like, there's cool stuff here. But show me this first. Don't pocket it up. Don't show me the best things. You know, you might have one really great illustration. You might have one really great model. Show me those first. Also, Sarah, I would say that generally speaking, doing 2D, 3D is a little confusing for most jobs. Not all jobs. In fact, sometimes this is the perfect unicorn that you want is like, I want to do 3D and 2D. But my first advice would be to make this page right here, like what I'm looking at here, look like this, right? And then send this link when you apply for a job. Send the 3D art. If you want to go out of there, and if I like your stuff enough to click around, fuck yeah, that's awesome for you. And then I go and look at your 2D, and I want to see the same thing there. Not a blog format, just like show me tiles of everything. Does that make sense? Anyway, in general, I think your stuff is cool. Like, I like the stuff. I will never click on, like if I'm looking at 100 portfolios to try and hire someone, I'm never gonna click on this. I'm never gonna 3D model it. And all that's gonna let me do is see the things that you messed up, right? Don't let me do that. No reason to. Just show me a great image. I like that these are posed, that's dope. Dope, posed, I like it. Find a way to combine this stuff into one, right? You don't need the front and back. Maybe just do the front pose and then do 3/4, 3/4 for more informational sense. In general, I like your models. Yeah, you need to show me art first. I'm scrolling back. There's so much text. I'm sorry, guys. Anyway, if you have any questions, Sarah, I'm happy to answer them, but like, start with that. Start with show me art. Let me see art right away. Don't make me look for things. Don't make me try and figure out, is this 3D, is this 2D? Don't make me figure out any of that stuff. Make it really easy. Again, your job, when you're trying to get a job, and this is, like I said, this is your first job. Before you have anything you're getting paid for, this is your first job, is to make it really easy for the person that is looking at your stuff to say yes. To say, let's talk to them. And I hope that makes sense to you guys. If it doesn't make sense, ask me some questions. I'm gonna do a couple more Lunia. Let's see. This is Reddington's. So Reddington, if I'm honest, I don't know what I'm looking at. So these are procedurals that are done in Substance Designer. You're definitely oversharing. This is a great image. Right here. It's not the highest quality image because it's a GIF, but yeah, you're way overdoing it here, brother. But I do like what you're doing. I think it's interesting.
Now look, what we have here before us. Nothing would move without us allowing it to happen.
I think you're the information to convey is important. I know you're trying really hard to get the right amount of information through, but I think it's important for you to find a way to reduce it. What's up, Qubit? How's it do? So I don't understand what the use case is here for me looking at this. Like, as a texture artist, this is cool. I feel like you're showing me so many things. I've only got a couple more in me, Madge. Like, I want to show you guys some more stuff with presentation on my own. But just trying to give you context, like what we talked about earlier. Simplify, reduce the amount of things you're showing me. Make it easy for me to understand. Make it the easiest. Give me 2 images at most, right? Make it simple and show me that you're gonna answer questions that I can't answer, or show me that you're gonna come to the same conclusions as I would as a hiring manager. Does that make sense? Oh, 13. Oh, that's Sarah, okay. Stop denying your best work. What's the only example of professional plus collab work that I have, so I'm reluctant to cut it. No one cares. No one's gonna say, oh, have you, like, you can put that in your resume. If you don't think it's the best thing, it damn sure should not be the first thing that I see. Do not, if it's even in there, it better be the best stuff in there. If you're saying you don't think it's the best, you should start with, what is the best shit that I have to show anyone? That's where you should start.
Hope you guys dig it.
I'll check out Obanators. It really depends on how much information you guys need. Like when I look at them. I lost it. Oh, insane. Insanophobia. Here's insane stuff. So starts strong as far as images go. I don't think this is very good. This is not. You should cut this. Start from there. Like, I saw the thumbnail and I saw it next to this and I'm like, well, nope, that shouldn't be in there. You need to get better at that, Insanophobia. Look at the stuff that you're doing, and like, the best thing that you can learn is to be critical of your own work. And I can't stress that enough. Being critical and being able to say, I like it, I don't. If you have a reason you like it, it better not be emotional. Make it pragmatic. Is it easy for me to say yes to you? This model is not very good either. This is not your strong stuff. This thing that I'm seeing, you've leveled up. You're on a different playing field than you were. Does that make sense? This guy looks pretty good. I don't like the render of the ZBrush model. I think you could do way better with presentation of that. This looks great. Like, the folds and everything on this are just not, they're not on the same level. Like, you've leveled up. I don't know what you've been doing. You've been eating your Wheaties. This is way better. This just feels like more of a character. Like, the simplicity of it, where you're choosing to add detail and where you're not. I'd say the flag should probably, I don't know why they're embossed. I would probably just do that with paint, but separately, you know, independent of that, I feel like you've leveled yourself up as far as the quality of your sculpts. So use that as your start point, right? Like, Is it as good as this? In general, I think you need to reset a little bit, Phil. Because I feel like parts of this are good, parts of it are not. This guy, this is Samu, game res model, is a little messy. I can't read the character in the environment, so be aware of that. Your flesh could be a little better. Also, integration between materials is kind of like this part's green, this part's orange. Having a little bit of color push between the two. And actual integration, like, right? Like this is terminated edge here. Little shadow. All that stuff matters. Anyway, you should look at, I encourage you specifically to look at what you've done recently and look at your stuff that's in your portfolio and like literally just A/B and then be honest about it. I think that's the thing that I was really bad about when we look at my original stuff, right? We look at this or this. I was not good at saying, here's what's important for me to show. Here's what's important for me to demonstrate my value. I didn't do any of that. And I think that if you can get that in your head early, you're gonna do so much better. You're gonna have such an easier time than I did. I spent a long time applying to places and not getting responses. And I was doing work. I was doing contracts jobs all the time, doing stuff on the side, paying my bills with it. But I couldn't get in a studio because the stuff I was doing and the way I was showing it did not say that I had good judgment, did not say that I had good framing for what my point of view was. And it didn't necessarily say that I added value to the company that I was applying to. Yeah, you have 2-year-old stuff in there, and you have this guy, and this guy's way better. He's just way better. Like, you've leveled up, so figure your shit out, you know? Like, what are you gonna do? How are you gonna approach that? I would love to see this as a game res model too. Like, I feel like you've got a good high poly going. I'd love to see that translate into a even better low poly. That's one thing I think another real big scary sign of people that just have high polys. Having a model that goes in the game, into a game engine, or just is game res, even just in Marmoset. It's huge. It's a huge difference. And it's, you know, tons of people are gonna be great at sculpting. There's plenty of people that are just gonna kill it on sculpts. What you really need is someone who's gonna be able to follow through. Alright, I'll be right back. Use the bathroom again. I'll do one more. Can someone figure out who the next... it was in Xenophobia. Yeah, that's Peter from the... Yeah. Well, it wasn't from... It was... Yeah, I was doing like a side scroller. I was doing my own Unreal mod back then, yeah. Can you guys figure out who the next person after Insanophobia was? Because my chat's all messed up. Is not Marmoset like cheating? You just put it in the model on the maps and done more or less? Oh, actually, all I'm saying is that having a game ready model is very different than having a sculpt. I'll be right back. You guys, let me know, figure out who the last person was. After the thing. Did you guys really not? Come on. Sarcastic Otter, I'm doing some consulting, yeah. It might have been, yeah. Gad's Games, is that Ryan? Let's take a look. Gams? The Gams? You made me work. You made me work, Ryan. You made me work. Don't make me work. Honestly, there's not enough information for me to actually really clearly understand what I'm looking at. So this is a Bonsai Golf. Okay. You do have a typo. I'm pretty sure Bonassi Golf is not what you meant to say, Ryan. But it does show me stuff right away. I feel like this. Yeah, honestly, I feel like you could do a little better at letting me know what I'm looking at, because this is obviously for a game, but I gotta read for it. So in the context of just like portfolio, this is not super great, because you made me click through and look for stuff. And in the context of here's the games that I've made, right? Like, it's the same thing that I was saying to Sarah. It's like, show me the stuff on the front page. No, Tinkimi, you don't understand. I gotta look at 100 pages. I damn sure don't read. That is fact. Just make it about the images if it's about the image of it. If it's about the game specifically, it's different. Now, this is an example where I think it's actually about the games, right? Ryan? It is Bonassi. Why is it Bonassi versus Bonsai? Is that a thing I just don't know about? Yeah, so it's different. Honestly, I could give you feedback on this that's a little separate. Maybe we can talk about it some other time. But I definitely would do different things if it's about actual games, right? Like, this name I would put in the middle of the, like, I put text overlaid over the image. Because it's not about an art page. I would definitely work on hierarchy in this page, but it's separate. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. We should talk about this offline. So it's not just about displaying the art, it's about showing what you're doing, showing the games you're doing. I think in general, you're displaying this pretty okay for showing me about a game. Well, on my stream, I feel like I need to move into some ZBrushy kind of stuff. I'm gonna roll back in chat real quick. Can I show you what I made that got me a job at Gigantic? I was the first artist. There wasn't really any. There was no. I didn't do an art test or anything. It was me and the animation lead got hired at the same time. There was not really anybody doing anything, so it wasn't like there was. It's kind of like, what are we gonna do? I just mean, talk to me on my stream, Ryan, because I feel like this is a little different design kind of operation than it is. Definitely isn't necessarily relevant to the thing we're talking about right now. Should I be taking pictures of my model in Game Engine, Unreal, or does that impress nobody? No, that's fine. I was just saying Marmoset's an example of an easy way to do it. So what I want to do next, after I close 45 windows in Photoshop, we made some good progress on my portfolio from 2001, 2002, right? Just for review, here's where we're at. Now what I want to do is talk a little bit about doing some renders. And I think when I say some of the best things you can do are showing people your skills, right? A smart, cheeky thing to do, if we look at my more recent stuff, all of my stuff I try to pose. The more recent it is, the more I pose it. Actually, this is just literally a max bone rendered. But even this isn't really a pose. I literally put bones in the arms, and that's it, and I turned her head slightly, right? Made a rig for him, right? Like, all this stuff, it's cheeky little nods that say, hey, I got some skills that you might be interested in. Let me tell you about them. It's not told, but I can do this. And you show it. Show things in context, and like even this, my art test for ArenaNet, bind pose was kind of a T pose, but the head's turned, the tail's rotated. Just like, there's like 8 bones in the whole thing. So doing that shit's important, but if you can really ham it up, oh boy, oh boy. Madge, I'm not a young buck. So what I want to do is I want to try and so this might actually fail fucking miserably. So don't be mad at me if I fail. I'm going to take Aisling, because I've always wanted a pose of her. It's gonna be multi-purpose. I'm probably gonna print it, but I'm gonna get Aisling, the high poly model. I'm going to get, and this is hypothetical. We're gonna try it. We're gonna do it live. I actually haven't tested Go Z from ZBrush to Maya. I heard it was fixed, so let's see. So we're gonna go grab a model, and I'm gonna show you kind of how I'd present things if I had my maneuvers about me.
Yo, this is Haywire. You're about to hear a track off my album Twofold Part 1 coming out March 31st.
Now I'm not sure if this is gonna be the right scale.
If you head over to my Facebook page.
Oh! Oh, the materials are gonna look really insane on this model right now, because this is, I haven't actually, oh, there's still some fiddly bits for me. All right, so let's go. We're gonna set all of our polys to low, as low as possible. I'm going to use a combination of the actual game model, the rig that's in Maya already. Now this is, I obviously have the luxury of having a rig. That thing, like the rig plus my model, plus poses. I'm gonna make sure that my model's in scale first, but we're gonna use transpose master first. So I'm gonna pop all these over here. We're gonna just T-pose the whole thing. I'm gonna send this over to Maya, as long as that's what we're set to. Maya, yeah, let's go. What up, Meow Sparky? How you doing? Do I have Maya open? I do. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Okay, that's definitely not in the right position. But let's do this. We're gonna open up the rig. Actually, first and foremost, let's go find the animation for her. So we'll do like, let's do the run. Let's do the run. I broke my file structure completely doing this. What up, Eric's? You know, they're using my formal given name, Joseph. Joseph. Is this the pose we want? Let's look at the regular body. We're gonna find a pose. That's not gonna, this is not printable, so that's not gonna work. We're gonna find one that's printable. That's important. I want to be able to print this character, if I'm perfectly honest. So we'll do like maybe run or walk.
And here's another track I did with Zeros called Permutate. Hope you enjoy.
Cat or summon post? That might not be bad. We'll see what happens here. Wait, why is that? Best animation and name. Right there. The Wiggle Boy. The Wiggle Boy. Dude, Madge Muffin, my name is actually Joseph Jerome Pikop, which I think covers the base, right? Joseph Jerome Pikop. That is a good name to shout at a kid. Just saying, that's a good ass name to be yelled. Okay, that was not the right model. One problem is the way that I merged these files was not so ideal. Yeah, well, it's too late. I already did it. I think there's only one product that will remain unnamed that I cannot open. Yo, JJP, JP, JJ. I got all the options. There's a lot of options. Let's be honest. That's annoying that I'm gonna have to do this every fucking time. Get it? Get it? That's a dope pose. That's the pose. That is the pose. That's the pose for sure. Now she has tiny legs that are probably not gonna support. I'll probably do some stuff when I get it to ZBrush. Like pull her jacket down to be a support structure. We don't have to worry about that right now. Let's just go ahead and do what we're doing. So we're gonna go Z this. So I'm go Zing the T-posed mesh. Now, it may be the case that I'm gonna have to pop back and forth a little bit. Preston's, yeah. What happened? Did we go? Are we good? Oh, what's going on, little girl? So your scale is totally fucked. Great. I did have one asset, a depth scaled. I made this for the outsourcers. So let's go back here. I presume this is gonna be in scale with the model because I didn't want to deal with this exact problem. All right, let's do this, all low. So I did the actual process of making this useful for other humans.
Thanks for joining us on the Monster Cat podcast.
Thanks for joining us on the Monster Cat podcast. And we go Z.
That's a bad.
I said we go Z! Oh my god. Come on. There it is, look at that. Okay, so great. This is awesome. So, we know this is in scale now. So what I'm gonna do is take this pose. I guess we got that in there. So we're gonna go, and I'm gonna save a pose.
Taking you on a journey. This is Monster Cat.
Hey guys, this is Laszlo here, and you are
Great.
listening to my track.
So now we're gonna go back over to our base model.
This is the Monster Cat podcast.
Making sense of these files. Okay. So I'm setting up the rig properly now. This is important to have my character in the scene with the proper rig from its default pose. And so what I'm gonna do is take this whole model, I'm gonna send it over, I'm gonna copy the weights from the low poly onto my T-pose mesh. And we're gonna do some baller shit. Oh no, not this. Oh no.
Ready, set, go.
What's up, Maya? How you doing? You gonna do some work today? Don't you guys just kind of want to do aerobics right now? Chop, chop, chop. Right? Feels like you need to. Rex, I've been doing some work. I started consulting for a company, and so my daily stream time has been set quite low. My old man, hey, fuck you. You're a bad person, man. Come on, man. You ain't gotta do me like that. You ain't gotta do me like that. That was unnecessary roughness. Oh yeah. Check it out. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. We gotta do it. Okay, so here's my actual low poly. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna combine a bunch of stuff so that I can have one model. So now if we have our controls, we should have a weighted model in here. Looking good, looking sharp. All right, and then here it is. Send this little lady over. Red Rover, go Z. Best feature, NA. There it is, look at this, right on top of each other. There it is. All right, so we got our old boy. This is, we can't change the name. We're gonna copy the weights from one to the other. It's gonna take a minute because if you look at these feet down here, crazy high res. But the cool thing here is that I can use tools from Max or Maya to get poses that are actually the poses from the character, right? So if I load the sequence library here, and I put that on there, now there's gonna be some nightmares. There's gonna be some slight tragedies going on here. But check it out. We've got a pose on our high poly. Now this can be sent right back, but before I do, what I'm gonna do is actually figure out what these elements are. Use the tools. Again, so my thing is I always wanna use the tools that are the most appropriate for what I need to get done. And so, in this case, yeah, the raid toolbar, that's actually the gigantic toolbar, honestly. It's a bunch of functions. There's a lot of stuff that's just built into Maya that are called out as icons. So I did copy weights. That was the brains, smart copy weights. Actually, I've been using that since on ArenaNet. But most of this stuff is a la carte, like putting together a bunch of different tool sets. This is the smooth skin weights brush. This is the best brush that exists in Maya. It's a script that I will send you guys a link to right now. I call it the toilet brush because I accidentally I tried to be Joe. I was trying to make a fancy little brush. Now if you look at this up close, it is actually a paintbrush with like magic blammies, but it ended up looking like a toilet brush. And we lovingly refer to it as a toilet brush, but it's just smooth skin weights. It's this right here. If you're ever skinning anything, it's the best thing that exists to like just smooth shit out, make it simple. So before I bring this back to ZBrush, I'm gonna clean up some of these things. But just so you can see what I'm doing, actually, well, let's send it back to ZBrush so you can see. So I'm gonna send it back as is, because I'm not sure. I got 30 minutes left today. So I'm gonna send, where's my Go Z? So I'm gonna send this back. And there it is. Now I took the pose from my actual model, actual rig. Now, obviously this is totally messed up. I'm not gonna T-pose to subtools right now. First I'm gonna go clean up the model, but you can see I've got the pose in ZBrush now. So if I did the T-pose to subtools right here, it would take all of the pose that I have in Maya as it is, and it would transfer it. So this is where, like, honestly, one of the jobs, like the most important job as a character artist, as a game artist in general, is figuring out how to be a magician. Like, you have all these different tools. You want to figure out how to get from point A to point B, and you're a problem solver. You need to figure out, okay, well, I've got this tool that I can actually use to get my pose. I could actually transpose, obviously, if I wanted to. But with tons of different subtools, with the new ZBrush features, I think you could probably do a better job. Historically, it's been pretty hard. But I have these animations from an animator, right? That are legit. Like they're like the right thing for that character. They're charming, they're strong poses. And I'm not an animator, right? Like I think that's one of the few jobs where I'm just like, oh, you want me to animate something? You're on your own. Can't do that. I'll figure out technical art, I'll write scripts, I'll do some code if you need me to. Whatever needs to be done, I'll get it done. I'm not an animator. I don't have that skill set. Right, so that's different, Hodor. That's a different set of skills. But here's the thing. Why is there no skin cluster on this? What just happened? Did I just like totally blow out my model? I think I did. We've done something bad, you guys. Sorry. Alright. I guess Go Z now blows out skin clusters. That's a bummer. Well, so check it out. I can actually take all these objects and start fixing it. Hammer weight tool. No, this is, so what this tool, it's similar to hammer weights, but it actually averages and it pulls in influences from the nearest joints. That's what Smooth Skin Weights does. Super awesome. What the fuck? Oh my god. Alright, whatever. Now this is a weight tweaker is a this is actually the type in weights from Max basically. There's a script for that as well. You need me to bring the satellite in a stable orbit around Saturn? Okay, fair enough. I can make that happen. Wicked Dimension. I can do that. I'll make it happen. We can do this. We have the technology. Just toilet brushing away here. So I know a lot of you guys join late, and I know this is like seems like a strange stream so far, but my goal with my Pixelogic stream will be to kind of like just week to week show you guys what different jobs look like. And right now what we're talking about is the job of getting a job. This is like before we get an art test, before we get to talk to anybody, before we interview. We may even do a stream on interviewing. I don't know. We'll see how much they let me get away with. Because I feel like the thing is, as a platform, like Pixelogic has like a really strong connection with people that are really trying to figure this stuff out and like get a job making them games. And there's so many ways that you can win and lose. And I'd love to help kind of pull the wool off your eyes as to what it actually looks like. So my thought was next stream would be streaming like, oh, I got an art test. Maybe we'll even do one of the art tests that I've gotten in my life. Like we'll do it again and just be like early art tests, not recent, but. And we'll just start sculpting. We'll start working on what that looks like and how that process looks to figure it out. Most importantly though, I want you guys to actually interact as much as possible. Like if there's shit I'm talking about that is relevant to you right now, I would love to talk to you about it and try and help you figure it out. Hey, Kingsley. So I think next week it'll be Art Test Joe, and then it'll be Intern Joe after that. We'll eventually get to Art Director Joe. But I think probably all the streams I'm probably gonna play a little bit of that role because I really want to help you guys figure it out. That's my general MO is like, how do we get more people doing this really awesome thing that we're doing? I think part of that is just kind of making it less mysterious, right? Because I feel like I remember when I started, like this sweet portfolio back here. Let me just pop that up again one more time. This sweet portfolio. I thought I was made in the shade. I was ready to go. I was getting paid, gonna do it. And I wasn't getting responses and I didn't know why. This guy might have had something to do with it. What is he doing to the small guy? It was a reverse Minotaur, by the way. I did not design it, so I don't want to hear it. This guy didn't go away for a long time, somehow. What is he? It's a reverse Minotaur, or Centaur. So it's 2/3 dude, but it's the upper dude. That's real. This was in my portfolio for a long time. And it's not a bad asset. It's just really fucking weird. And it's not the kind of thing that you really, like, no one could tell me this is like a bad version of game art at that time period. It was fine. Oh my god. You guys, listen. We all make mistakes, and I want to help you guys not make mistakes. That's my goal. The best part is, I had plenty of friends that were trying to tell me to not make mistakes. And so that's another part of it, is like understanding when you don't know what you're talking about. It's hard to get there, but when you get there, oh shit, you are in for a treat. You know what I mean? Like actually understanding what you're... I wonder if I can just use a huge brush on this for a second. It's gonna take some time. But yeah, it's really awesome when you get to the point where you really can understand, oh wow, I did mess up. And I've been messing up. And learning, I feel like in that way, learning what you're doing wrong, oh boy, what a treat that is. Not a lot of people can tell you what you're doing wrong, but when they do, brother. Those of you that I didn't actually give feedback to, I know there's a bunch of people that were asking for feedback. If you join my normal stream, So Much Monsters, I am absolutely always happy to give feedback, independent of what I'm doing there. I just feel like here I want to do a little bit more demo, a little less feedback, but I will do what makes sense. Try and make sure that I have a little bit of time each time. So I'm copying and pasting vertex weights. So I'm grabbing one vert, saying copy vertex weight. That's just literally, this is a function of Maya. It's just in a UI right here. Copy vertex weight, and then I'm pasting on all the other verts. You see I'm grabbing faces, converting that to verts, converting that to verts, converting that to sometimes. And I'm pasting. You see that's cleaning up a lot of stuff here. Shadeland Shark, how much time do you need to spend at that in-between job before looking at another? Just enough to meet the job requirements? Another thing is... what are you saying? Let me try and... I don't actually know what you're saying. Shitty, what are you asking about the amount of time that you work at a place? Or... like in my case right now, I haven't been working for a month and a half. Been doing consulting, but not full-time stuff. Is that what we're talking about? What are you talking about? Can you maybe clarify that a little bit for me? I want to answer your question, but I also am not entirely sure what you're talking about. What is this science over here? What is going on? All right. Wicked, I've never been laid off from a game job before. There have been layoffs at the companies I've been at, but I think, you know, it's like one of the things that you really got to think about is what do you offer to a company that makes you invaluable, right? It's not just doing a job. In fact, it's almost never just doing a job because it's really easy to outsource. Like what I do is super easy to outsource. Character art, I mean, as a dude who outsources things, I know that the things that I work on are the easiest thing to box up and send out to someone else for cheaper, right? So what are your contributions that aren't necessarily something I could box up and send to someone else, right? That's the thing to think about.
You're tuned in to the Monster Cat podcast.
Man, it's fucking weird. What are you saying? the best thing you can do is kind of like figure out what is your value. I know I'm a technical person who, like, I'm not gonna be the best character artist on the team, but I'm very technical and I can do a lot of things that most of the other character artists won't be able to do. I'll do shaders, I'll do tools, I'll identify process that's not working well, right? And so I know that I'm pretty valuable as an employee for those reasons, right? Separate from being all right at the job, you know what I'm saying? But finding things that are like just very necessary, that are the things that you couldn't imagine. Oh wow, if there's a conversation about a layoff, right? What's the thing that makes you not the first one to go? Jokes is a good start, you know, camaraderie. Actually, I'm not even kidding. That's actually huge. If it's part of like you make the team function the way that the team functions, that's awesome. That's great. It's different. It's not necessarily a business reason, right? But works. Politics. What are you talking about, Sarcastic Otter? Skyline Shark. Okay, you want to branch out and look at other jobs, but only have 2 years experience. Most companies ask for 5+ and launch game, blah, blah, blah. Almost categorically, when you read, we could do that one day if you guys want to, go over job postings and talk about them. But generally speaking, when it comes to job requirements, that's all fluff. I can tell you that when I say, hey, I really think we need to hire another character artist, my interest is to get the best person possible for the job. And when I say I would like to get a senior artist because I don't want to deal with the overhead of kind of helping, kind of teaching, it's the end of the project, we just want to get shit done. I'm not going to say let's get a junior person, and in fact I wouldn't start from there. But if a junior person applied, the thing is those numbers come from HR usually, not from the hiring manager. I would never say I want someone with 7 years of experience, I need a senior artist. I will say I need a senior artist. The HR dude will write down shit, HR woman will write down shit that requirements that I just don't give a shit about. And all I'm gonna look at is your portfolio. If you fit the description of someone who has worked for 7 years, as far as your work output, I really don't give a shit. If it looks like you're gonna show up and you're gonna do the job and you're supposed to have 7 years experience, but you have 1, it does not matter. I refer to years of experience as a shit filter. It's like, are you ready? Are you ready to send your resume in when it says 5 years, but you got 2? Job done. Success. You're ready. You are ready for that jelly. All right, we're cleaning it up. She's getting cleaned up. The truth is, I look at a portfolio and that's it. It's just not even a conversation. Portfolio wins everything. In fact, I don't even look at a resume until we're interviewing someone. With the exceptions of like, hey, you worked on a project that I think I know what that is, and I probably know someone there. Sometimes I'll look at the portfolio and be like, oh, you worked with this person. Let me talk to them. But I'll check the resume just in case, you know? Yeah, it's just really important to know that you need to value yourself first. And when you realize what your value is, 5 years experience is not actually anything to do with it. In fact, sometimes like the newbie, like the guy that's just like hungry and new and like trying to figure shit out faster than you are, changes the game completely. Like you get a new, like somebody that's just like super junior, but they're really, 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 really talented, and they make you sweat. and they make you work, and they make you learn, and suddenly everything gets better for it. I don't agree with the Otter with friends with producers shit. I don't, whatever. I am strongly in the camp of do good work, do the best work, and be honest about how good that work is. And if you think you're really great, and you are great, you're not going anywhere. Not Madge, I love it. I actually, you know what? The thing is, what I've learned being a crusty old boy that I am is that the job never stops changing, and seeing other people understand a process better than you is strictly a learning opportunity. It's not, there's nothing about that that's unhealthy. It's actually awesome. Because I can guarantee that same person, like if we talk about like trying to manage a project and manage a budget and figure shit out, they would be dead. It would be the end of their world. They would be like, what the fuck do I do? How do I even write? Excel what? Like, there's different skills that you learn over time. And I think that's actually what, like this stream in general, what I want it to be, right? Is this cool sort of like look into all the different stuff that you might be doing and the timelines that you might be doing them. Because I think that's really, it's useful, right? When you get to the point where you're just art directing shit, you've had a career of doing cool shit and you've had a career of making good choices. So I copied the weights, Harry. I took my my ZBrush model, I T-pose meshed it, and then I just sent it, I Go Z the T-pose mesh. And then I copied weights from my game model that has a rig. And the weighting on that is not going to be 1-to-1 because there's so many more polygons. We're getting pretty close though. So I want to make this printable, basically. I want a cool pose for her. I'll have to do some stuff with the character itself, but so all these faces are distorted because they're because they are weighted to different joints than they need to be. Okay, so we're actually right at the end here. I've got 7 minutes. So I'm gonna take what I've got here as is, and I'm gonna show you kind of what, I'm not gonna get through it right now. What I wanted to do is kind of get this to the point in ZBrush so that it's got this great pose. And I'm not even sure that it's necessarily gonna T-pose properly. Are you done, ZBrush? Photoshop? Maya? I detect a crash. Shit. What happened? Alright, we're gonna wait a second. Well, saving right now would be terrible, Ryan, because I'm in the middle of a transitional situation where nothing good could come of this. I could actually also smooth this out in ZBrush with ZBrush tools. So what okay, we survived. We survived. Mine never, it's true. It really never does. It just never happens. So we could always do, you know, the old smoother in here on our T-pose mesh, but oh, we're good, we're good, we're good. All right, I'm just gonna Go Z it as is. Obviously there's still issues, but we're gonna Go Z this back. And the dope thing about this is that I can have this pose from my Maya file in ZBrush. You know, it's been a little bit of time, but what is happening right now? There we go. So Go Z. I fucking love Go Z, and you should love it too. Alright, so updated, great. Obviously there's some shenanigans going on up here. We could do a quick little little popper. Pop, pop, pop. And we'll do a pass over all this separately, but just so you can see what I'm doing here. I take this and I T-pose the subtool. And then we get a pose high poly. And this could be anything. This is what I did to get that Minotaur pose. This is what I did to get the Paco when I made the ball version of him. So now if we look at all high, now I don't have to, so this is actually all my subtools now, right? So before I even let this go up, I can clean that up. Clean up those little bits, just alt click them. You can see we're just cleaning it up. Just a smooth. Use a little move topological if you wanted to. We're gonna call this clean, right? For now. You can see like obviously there's like some shenanigans here. But this is a pose character now, like effectively. Like obviously there's plenty of stuff for me to clean up, and I would do that in Maya first, spend that time. But check it out. Here's the all high. Now obviously there's gonna be shit that's messed up. Existential, you can actually do some simple, like use the rig tools in Maya RMX, like set up joints. It doesn't have to be extreme. But just set it up that way, and then there you go. You have a posed high poly. There's plenty of work to do to make this great. It's not great yet, but we went from no pose to yeah pose, and then we can go just jam this into. This is where like the presentation stuff really matters, right? You do one pose like this. We do one bind pose. Send it to Keyshot, and you make a nice render. Cauldron Black, because the model, the game model, wouldn't have any of the subdivisions, any of the actual sculpted detail. So I could do that, but that wouldn't give me a posed high poly with all my subtools still intact, right? So when I want to edit this, I can actually still work just in the exact same way that I would have in ZBrush before. Does that make sense? So now we got it in. We should have it in our best buddy Keyshot. This is my favorite, by the way. If you want to talk about all the things that you should and shouldn't do, rendering, making your model dope. My model's way too big. Keyshot, there's a Keyshot bridge like actually it's a plugin for ZBrush. It's not $2,000. Yep, it's much cheaper. It's actually it's totally worth it. It's worth the time savings, and then that's a lot of the time. That's what my actual argument will be for myself, to sell myself on like, hey, I should find a way to spend the money on the right tool and save myself time. Often that's really the equation that matters to me, is how long would I spend trying to get this quality of a render when I literally just dropped it into the scene from ZBrush. It's like my actual ZBrush model. It's all connected. Ferrix, if the folds don't fit, you must quit. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, you can spend some time and actually resculpt once you got to this point, right? I have a ZBrush high poly right now, so if this pose, you know, I want a little extra wrinkle right through here, no problem, I can do that. But so now it's about, this is the same thing as before, right? We were talking about this before. It's presentation, figuring out what's good. Now I'm not gonna have time, it's 4 o'clock already, we're past our time. But knowing that presentation really is everything when it comes to this stuff. You see all that warmth I get from this? I get like cool from one side, warm from another. I can change my material, I could change my environment, brighten it up, whatever. But this is where judgment starts coming in again, right? Like, how do you present your things? How do you show people what you think is good? I'm excited for this character to be posed. I'm actually super excited to print it. So I'll probably do that separately. What's that 404 volt? So yeah, all right, we covered a lot of stuff that had nothing to do with ZBrush today. We did a little bit of ZBrushy stuff at the end. It won't be quite so ZBrush free going forward. So today, if nothing else, if you guys are actually looking for a job, I hope that you walk away with a little bit more insight as to like who your target audience is, what you're actually trying to do, right? When you're trying to get a job, what is it you're trying to do? And ideally, you can get to the point where you can understand. In fact, with any art, it's about understanding who the viewer is and how you can communicate to them. So think of me as a dude who's gonna look at your stuff and is gonna look at a lot of things. My whole day is gonna be just looking at stuff. How do you get the information across quickly to me? To the point where it's not a question. Make it easy for me to hire you. So next time, what I want to do is, and I'm actually super excited about the idea of you guys figuring out what my art test is going to be. We made our portfolio, we updated our portfolio. It's looking dope, right? Let's just like a real quick refresher. We redid our portfolio. Joe Pikop, artist. You know what I'm saying? We're ready. Where did it go? Where's my sweet portfolio? Guys, I lost it. Oh no. I can't find it. It doesn't exist anymore. I can't show you it again. I'm sorry. But the end result is we made some choices about how we're gonna present it. Next time people have given me some attention, and I'll have a art test to do. So we'll figure out what that is. How do we get a job? Pikopartist.com? Well, so I already learned my lesson about what you should not do with your website. No, sarcastic. It's a combo. You get a license of ZBrush, but it has to go through the bridge. You can't just open Keyshot and load models. I bought it when it first was announced. I think it was $200. and then I upgraded it to whatever the Pro. I don't actually really remember the licensing structure. I know it's a little bit confusing, but I'm certain our Pixelogic friends have some links, some information. Yeah, there's a different version of Keyshot. It's not just you're buying a plugin to send it to from ZBrush to Keyshot. Yeah, there you go. Thanks, Wicked. But hey, I think I'm all done for the day. So next time it's gonna be my new job is gonna be the next step of getting a job, which is gonna be trying to do an art test. So we'll figure that out. We'll talk through it. Now, if you guys want to join me on my stream throughout the week, and you have some feedback on what that art test should be, I actually would love for it to be something in that time period, but redone. I could even do that Volition art test again, or in part do that test, like do a bust or something of that character in ZBrush as my test. But I'd love to hear what you guys do and don't want to see, and I'd love feedback on the format that I've kind of put together here. But I think that's my day. I think that's gonna be the day. That's 4 o'clock, right? I think I was supposed to go from 1 to 4. If any of you Pixelogic people are here, you could tell me if I'm right or wrong. That'd be great. Yeah, I think we're gonna call it. Anyway, so I'm gonna be doing this every Wednesday for the foreseeable future until I start working again. I'll be doing 1 to 4 on Wednesdays. Am I good, Kyle? Was that my slot? I don't actually remember. I just sort of started talking and I never stopped. Yeah, no problem, Elfer, Pocket Band, Resner, Ziggy, Snoro. Appreciate you guys. Alright, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for kicking it. Hopefully, I think I'll probably take this this Ashling pose. I think maybe tonight I'll work on that on my own stream, so if you guys want to join me, that's what I'll probably be doing. There's the link, if y'all are interested. Yeah, give me a follow. I'll probably be doing this after dinner tonight. I didn't actually eat lunch, so I'm gonna go get some food now. See you guys later.